So today we are going to talk about saying what you want out loud and how that changes everything. Most of the time, when I ask people to say what they want, I'll watch their faces and I'll watch them as they start to, it's almost like they'll kind of knock themselves down before they can even articulate it. Now, the reason that we do this is because we don't think we can have it or we feel shame for wanting it. Okay. So if we're not able to say out loud what we want, how on earth are we going to start to get it? So just taking a moment to just really, and I know that you know what you want. And I know because it was the same for me, right? I went through my journals and I looked at the dreams that I'd written for far in the future. A very easy trick that you can use is you can ask yourself, okay, if I knew that I had all the resources available, if I knew, hi Rita, if I knew that I could solve all of the problems and I had 10 years and I had a whole team, what would I want? Right? Another thing I like to do sometimes is to just ask, like, imagine that a TV crew appear and they have said, okay, we've got this project. I did it with my coaching practice. I imagined that they said, okay, we're going to rent a space for you to set up a coaching practice that's like a yoga studio if you can get 30 people in the next day, right? In the next 24 hours. And then you'll have the premises rent free for a year, and we're going to document it for a TV series. Everything will be paid for, but you have to have the 30 people in the next 24 hours. So suddenly your brain is like, ooh, okay, so if it was possible, and if I knew that was guaranteed, how would I do these things? Okay. So it starts by saying it out loud, owning the fact that you want it. Or if you don't like the word owning, you can say something else. You can say being honest about the fact that you want it, making space for the fact that you want it, and really allowing yourself to notice the emotions that come up. Okay, so that's one example that I used for business. But another thing that came up for me, I mentioned in the previous video or podcast episode, wherever you're listening to this, my wants for when I found myself in Normandy, and having had this idea of like wanting to have a house and renovate it and be in the French countryside. But something that came up after my breakup was the idea that I wanted a partner and I wanted to have a family. And I couldn't say that out loud. I just couldn't. And I actually got coaching on it. And my work was because I didn't believe it was possible that I could have that. So, because I didn't believe it was possible, I wasn't allowing myself to experience the pain of saying something out loud that I didn't think I could have. Now, you may have your version of this. For you, you might be like, yeah, I mean, I've got kids. I've got my partner. I always knew that I'd meet someone that wanted kids. But you may think you can't have a business and be a parent. Or you may think that you can't have the impact that you want unless you work for a social impact company. You can't set your own up. You may think that you can't have the relationships that you want with your body. You may think you can't have the lifestyle that you want. We've all got our little ceilings and limits. So, what I would love for you today is to just think about that thing that's in your journals, the little scraps of it, somewhere in the back of your mind. And wherever you are, just pause for a moment and think about I want and say it in your head. Okay. Notice if you have any response in your body. Notice if you find yourself kind of contracting or if it feels like a relief. Okay. I didn't know, I didn't think that I knew where I wanted to live. So when my dog Rita was sick, there was about 6 months where she couldn't really travel. And I spent 6 months thinking about, oh, do I want to live in Edinburgh? I felt that I should be in the UK because I should be close to family. So again, if you notice a should, that tells us this probably isn't something you want. It's something that there is social pressure or whatever, right? So a really good signal. And then I was thinking about this life of, okay, well, maybe I'll do Palma in Mallorca, or maybe Barcelona, or maybe France. And there was this moment where I took Rita to have a training session with an amazing dog psychologist who was helping us because Rita has some issues. Um, we're working on them. And they said to me, I said, do you think she'll ever be able to live in a city centre? And they both, it was amazing Louise and, oh my God, I can't remember her name. We only did one session together because she was so good. That's a problem. When you're so good, someone only needs one session. We're not going to remember your name. I'll find her and I'll tag her because she's amazing. She's German. She's fantastic. But they both looked at each other and they were like, no, like this is not a city dog. And so as I was driving back, I suddenly felt like brilliant because if I'm not living in Edinburgh City, I don't want to live in Scotland right now, right? And I don't want to be in the countryside in Spain. I've done that. It's France, baby. Let's go. And so all the drive home, I just felt this like elation of like, it's France. We're doing it. We're doing it. Because in France, it's very easy to be in like a very beautiful village within 30 minutes, 20 minutes of a cool city, right? So you can get both. Now, I'd always wanted that. You probably know I'd always wanted that, but I've been hiding it from myself because of, various things that it might be difficult or feeling guilty, right? About being selfish, not doing what I should do. So let yourself say it, notice the response in your body, and then say it out loud and notice how does it feel in your body when you say it out loud. And there'll be some journal prompts to go with this.